Sup, yo? So last time, my mic turned itself off before I did my outro. So I didn't do my outro last time. I don't think it mattered that much. But we'll try to have my mic on for that later. Also, I'm awaiting a phone call for things. So, I'll be taking a break for that, of course. But, let's do the space goat things. Yeah. Do that. Alright, radio silence. Because you don't need to hear me breathe.
It's good to see another new face here in Bloodwatch, Traveler. Although the Blood Elves are the most immediate threat, there are other sinister creatures that call Blood Mist Isle home. The Nasivus Satyr are of particular concern. They are foul, demonic creatures, commanding dark magics and feeding on the corruption created by the Exodar's crash. We must hold them in check, but first we must learn more about them. Go southwest in Azivian and learn what you can from their grotesque monument.
Each day
A good
is
woodsman
blessing.
makes use of every available resource, Traveler. Even the most bizarre creatures possess attributes we can use to our advantage. With Bloodwatch under constant
You got
assault
my
from the
attention.
Sunhawks, we're looking to a variety of natural defenses, including traps. The Lesher's thorny
Arcanon
vines are
Poros.
perfectly suited to the construction of the
Blessings
traps I
upon
have in
your
mind.
family.
A combination of sharp spines and
fortune.
deadly toxin
Do
will
not
fell
lose faith.
unwary attackers. Bring me the vines of mutated constrictors so that I can begin my work. As I'm sure you've seen in your time on Blood Mist Isle, very little
Open your
remains
heart to the
unchanged
light.
by our arrival.
kind
My
to
training
those
and
less
experience has
fortunate.
taught me that even the products of an
Violis
environment
Arca.
like this one can be put to use. With so few resources, we must rely on our ingenuity to provide for us. I've been supplementing our stores with meat from the bears that wander this island. With the proper preparation, it can safely be eaten.
Chronokai
If you're going to be
Christo.
out in the field, why not help replenish our stocks? As we've gotten
Dionys
ourselves
Aka.
established here at Bloodwatch,
Remember the lessons of the past.
I've been sending out survey teams to create more reliable maps of the island. In most cases, they returned unharmed with the data we need. But the team I sent east to the ruins hasn't reported back. I worry about what might have happened to them, but I can't spare the men to send another mission after them. Find them, adventurer, and lend them any assistance they require to return with their survey data.
The Naru have
The
not
Exodar's
forgotten
crash
us.
scattered pieces of fouled crystals all over Blood Mist Isle,
Chronokai
corrupting the
Christo.
water and the landscape.
May your
We've
days
even
be
begun
long and
finding
your
pieces of the
hardships.
crystals inside the flesh of animals taken for meat. I've uncovered a way to the shard and turned them into functional crystals. So if you, me enough shards, I'll trade one of my completed crystals for them. So far, I've found the shards in the bodies of bears, ravagers, flutterers, and treants, inhabiting the corrupted part of the island. It is good to see you again, adventurer. I have a quandary that you might be
Arcanon
able to
Poros.
solve. Our agents
Safe
situated
journey.
behind Sunhawk lines have
your
reported
days
seeing
be long,
Sunhawk
and
soldiers
your
parsing an
hardships
unusual document. Unfortunately, we have been unsuccessful in acquiring a copy of the document for ourselves. I need you to go out in the field and try to recover the
Illusion
document.
will fall.
I am certain that
Be
if you
well.
apply enough
Remember,
pressure, a Sunhawk
lessons
agent
of
will
the
turn
past.
over the information we seek. I leave the use of force to your discretion. Harbinger Mikolas has done a commendable job of safeguarding Bloodwatch, Traveler, but our enemies are many and our resources few. Our weakness is well known to our enemies, but your contact with the forces of the Alliance
May
is
the
something they
light
haven't
embrace
accounted
you.
for.
Be well.
I have prepared a letter of introduction to the people of Obadine, the closest Alliance settlement. Cooperation in the fight against our foes. Take it with you and seek out Huntress Kellanite Bow near the docks west of the Exodar. Were you able to gather the first crystal sample? This crystal shard will give our researchers a baseline to against samples from other parts of the island, Cincy, from one of Bloodmist's less corrupted regions. I won't be able to send it off until we have a full set of samples, but this is a great start. If you're willing to help gather the other samples, I'll see to it that you're rewarded for your efforts. The Hand of Argus has established a forward base at Vindicator's Rest, but they are sorely outnumbered by both the Blood Elves and mutated wildlife. Without backup, their outpost is in danger of falling, and we'd have no way to keep an eye on events near the Vector Coil. Report to Scout Jorley at Vindicator's Rest to the northwest, and offer her your assistance, adventurer. About a week ago, my research team and I were out exploring the western wilds of Bloodmist when we were attacked by bloodthirsty spiders. The effect of the crystal contamination was clearly evident as these spiders were massive and extremely aggressive. I managed to escape, but my team wasn't so lucky. We must not let the same fate befall others. Go west to the Amberweb Pass and destroy the spiders and their matriarch, Zara.
The black silt murlocs on the southwestern coast are curious creatures. In some ways, they act barely sentient, yet in others, they show a remarkable degree of organization. I have a few theories about that, but no real way to test them until recently. I've devised a method that will. Me too. The murlocs I'm in without doing any lasting harm or interfering with their natural behavior. If you're willing to help with the marking, I'll gladly pay you for your assistance. Do you think often of your family, adventurer? There were a number of families aboard the Exodar, but I've heard of very few being reunited. I myself am looking for traces of my husband Galen, who was a technician in the cryocore. The wreckage of it is located to the west, and it's swarming with blood elves. I must find out what became of Galen. Even news of his death is better than never knowing. My husband will be wearing a pendant identical to my own. They were a gift from my sister.
For a small fee, you can rent one of my hippogriffs to fly you to the Exodar. Taking the hippogriff is a faster, not to mention safer, alternative for someone carrying an important message. If you'd like to take a ride, speak to me again, and I'll make the arrangements.
Most of the creatures by the crystal's energy have been corrupted in the same ways. Strange marks on their flesh, increased aggression, and small crystal shards in their bodies. However, the fouled water spirits north of here appear to be turning entirely to crystal. I have never seen anything react to the crystals this way before. When we explored the foul pool, they were particularly dangerous. We must get rid of them before the Sunhawks can exploit them as a new source of energy. We don't dare abandon our post or wander too far from Vindicator's Rest, Queston. The mutated creatures closest to the Vector Coil have been changed profoundly by energy leaking from the crystals. The mutated Tanglers appear to have gained a certain degree of sentience. They've learned to create, set, and conceal vicious traps that can ensnare even the most careful warrior. We'll never be able to move against the Sunhawks if we're constantly forced to look underfoot. Attack the problem at its source, adventurer. Greetings, friend. You look like you've come a long way. How can I help you? So you've brought Topher's list. Excellent. I was hoping to receive this today. Let's see what he needs.
Norguni reads over the list and begins placing various items in a box.
That's most of what he requested. The pieces for the beds are simply too large to be delivered by Hippogriff, but I'll make arrangements to have them sent by wagon. Here's the box, adventurer. That should be enough for Topher to get the inn up and running. Let him know that he can keep sending in orders as the need arises. Bloodwatch urgently needs a place to care for the wounded and put up any travelers they receive. When you're ready to return to Bloodwatch, seek out Stephanos near the gates of the Exodar.
FYI, I am so obsessed with doing absolutely every quest. So bear with me for a while.
Good fortune.
You're just in
Remember the
time,
lesson.
adventurer. Blood elf activity in this area has doubled in the past week. Our agents have informed us that the blood elves that call themselves Sunhawks plan to launch an offensive upon Azuramist soon. I need you to get a warning out to our allies and compatriots. Warn High Chief Stillpine at Stillpine Hold, Exarch Menelaus at Azura Watch, and Admiral Odysseus at Odysseus Landing. Time is of the essence, so I'm lending you my elect. Be sure to keep it out of water.
Alright, I think I've done about enough patrolling for this youngling. We can come back to it later, or after. Well, I don't know, it's already gray. Fuck. Fuck it. Fuck it. Alright, plans change. So I need to pick up some meds.
You're just in time, adventurer. Blood elf activity in this area has doubled in the past week. Our agents have informed us that the blood elves that call themselves Sunhawks plan to launch an offensive upon Azuramist soon.
I'm gonna skip this.
To get a warning.
Shut up. So, yeah, I gotta pick up some meds. Probably gonna do that. And I can stream after I do that and after I find this youngling. Perhaps. Unless I can find the youngling right now. No? Okay. Well, I guess whatever. Anyway, I'm just going back to the Flight Master and at least get that quest done. And then I'll probably just hide out at the Bloodwatch Inn while I do the med pickup business. Sorry, this stream wasn't very long, and it was not very eventful. I'm probably just gonna delete this VOD, because what's the point? I wasn't getting to anything. I was just basically wasting time the whole time. Or I'll merge it with stream I'll do later that is more substantial. I don't know. It's a bit touch and go at any given time for this.
Warm wishes to you.
Where
Remember
are
the
you
lessons
headed,
of the
traveler?
past.
So you're
Nobody really watches anyway.
with this package?
So it's like, who cares?
Oh, traveler, just speak with me again and we'll get you on your way with those supplies. If I remember correctly, Bloodwatch's Hippogriff Master is Loando. If you've spoken to him before, then you can take one of my hippogriffs to him. That's a good lesson too. Hippogriffs are always trained to fly to their capital city, but they'll only take you to a remote Hippogriff Master after. Already, there. Since you arrived on one of Lando's hippogriffs, you can also use that route to return to Bloodwatch with the caregiver's supplies.
Okay. Well, I think since I've been listening to all the dialogue so far today, I think it might be better to lump this into the stream I'll do after. Something like that. I don't know. Or just start a second stream once I'm actually ready. Probably once I find the youngling. Because I am obsessed with doing every goddamn quest in my vicinity. I don't care what RXP says. Most of the time. It's just there for safety warnings and how to do that and this and the other thing. You know? Not necessarily to tell me which ones not to do.
I hope you find something
Welcome
useful.
back, adventurer.
If it excites me to do it, I'll do it.
Gather everything on the list?
Handing Topher the box, you tell him that Naguni is making arrangements to have the larger items delivered by wagon.
Splendid. Now, I'll finally be able to set up some beds and a first aid station so that we can better the wounded and any survivors I can't thank you enough for your help, adventurer. You have my thanks and that of the Bloodwatch's Vindicators.
Okay. Alright, sorry for being so short right now, but I'm sure we'll come back later today with a half part, because why the hell not? Still the second day of this character, so it's like, I don't give a shit. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you're into that kind of thing, and as always, more to come later. Bye-bye.